Organizations have dashboards, they have AI pilots, they have data teams, but very few have decision intelligence, the ability to combine BI, AI, and human judgment into a unified system that consistently produces better decisions. Today, we bring together a global panel to explore how organizations evolve from analytics to intelligence. Most organizations have dashboards. A lot of them have launched an AI pilot or two. Many have a data team that's working hard behind the scenes. And yet, when it's time to make the big calls, pricing, hiring, risk, supply chain, customer experience, it still feels messy. Decisions get made in silos. Metrics don't match. Nobody can explain why a certain choice won. That gap is exactly where decision intelligence shows up. Welcome back to the BI channel, where data meets decisions. I'm Soren Hale, and today we're doing a global roundtable on decision intelligence, the next frontier after BI maturity and AI readiness. What it is, why it's hard, and how leaders can actually start building it as a capability, not just a slogan. Let's meet our panel of experts. Joining me are 5 voices with very different lenses. Nakel Ethan Nikima, BI strategist and founder of the BI channel. Dr. Lian Zhou, who leads AI transformation across the Asia-Pacific region. Maria Alvarez, a leader in data governance across LATAM. Jonas Richter, specialist in European compliance and data ethics. And Aidan Vox, AI futurist and emerging tech analyst. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Nakel, you've guided us through BI maturity and AI readiness. Welcome back.
Thanks, Soren. This topic is the point where BI finally grows up and connects to how decisions actually get made.
Dr. Zhou, you've led AI transformation across APAC.
Happy to join. I see a lot of companies investing in AI, but missing the structure that turns insights into consistent action.
Maria, your governance work in LATAM gives you a unique perspective.
Glad to be here. If there's one thing I'll keep repeating today, it's that governance isn't paperwork. It's the backbone of reliable decisions.
Jonas, you bring the ethical and regulatory lens.
Thanks for having me. If organizations want intelligence, it has to be responsible intelligence, especially when AI is involved.
And Aidan, you've been pushing the boundaries of AI futurism.
Excited for this. I think decision intelligence is quickly becoming the real operating model for modern leadership.
All right, let's start with a simple question that's not actually simple. When we say decision intelligence, what do we really mean? And how is it different from just having analytics and some machine learning models floating around?
For me, it's the difference between assets and a system. Dashboards are assets. Models are assets. Even a data platform is an asset. Decision intelligence is when you connect BI, AI, and human judgment into a repeatable decision system. So, you can make the same type of decision over and over with better quality and explain how you got there.
Yes, and I'd add consistency and traceability. If 2 departments make the same decision differently because they're using different definitions, that's not intelligence. Decision intelligence makes decisions aligned to strategy and trackable. You can answer, what data did we use, which rules did we apply, and who approved what?
In APAC, I'm seeing decision intelligence emerge as a competitive advantage. It's not just about insight generation, it's operational. Companies are asking, how do we embed intelligence into execution? That means decisions become faster, but also more standardized and measurable.
And more defensible. If you can't explain a decision, regulators, customers, and even your own employees will challenge it. Once AI contributes to decisions, the need for transparency, fairness, and accountability isn't optional. Decision intelligence has to include those guardrails from the beginning.
I like to frame it as an operating system. Not the apps, the operating system. It coordinates inputs, people, models, rules, and workflows so the organization doesn't rely on heroic individuals to decide well. That's the shift.
So if that's the goal, why do so many organizations get stuck? They invest heavily in data and AI. On paper, they should be cruising. But in reality, they're not.
I see 3 blockers over and over. First, fragmented data. Everyone has their own version of the truth. Second, siloed decision-making. where each team optimizes locally and nobody owns the end-to-end decision. Third, weak governance discipline. People treat governance like a side project instead of a core operating practice.
And when governance is weak, what happens? Teams automate chaos. They build a model on top of inconsistent data, then they deploy a dashboard to standardize a metric that was never agreed on. The result looks advanced, but it's built on sand.
I'd also call out ethical blind spots. Organizations can move quickly and accidentally encode bias, or create decisions that are impossible to audit. Then later they scramble to patch it. That's expensive, and it damages trust.
There's also a regional pattern I've noticed. Some organizations try to move too fast. They want AI-driven decisions immediately, but they haven't built the basic decision foundation, like clear ownership, common KPIs, and strong data quality. Speed without structure creates instability.
And leaders often underestimate the cultural shift. Decision intelligence changes how power works. If decisions become more transparent, some people feel exposed. If AI supports decisions, some people feel threatened. So you need change management, not just technology.
Okay, let's get practical. If a leader asked you, what are the building blocks of a decision intelligence system, what would you list? Let's break it down clearly.
First is a trusted data layer. Governed, consistent, high-quality data. Not perfect data, but trusted data. People need to believe the numbers before they'll change behavior.
Second is decision workflows. You map how decisions are made today and how they should be made tomorrow. Who's involved, what triggers the decision, what inputs matter, what time horizon, what constraints. Without that map, intelligence has nowhere to land.
Third is an ethical framework, transparency, fairness, accountability. It needs to cover how models are used, when humans override them, how bias is tested, how outcomes are monitored, and how decisions are explained to stakeholders.
Fourth is AI-enhanced insights. This is where predictive and prescriptive analytics come in. Not just reporting what happened, but anticipating what will happen and recommending actions, while still being measurable and monitored over time.
And fifth is human-AI collaboration. Co-pilots, assistants, decision support inside the daily tools people already use. The goal isn't replacing humans. It's augmenting them so decisions get better under pressure, not just in a lab demo.
I like that this list forces a hard truth. Decision intelligence is not a single platform purchase. It's an ecosystem, and it's cross-functional by design. Let's widen the lens. You all work in different regions. How does decision intelligence show up differently across the world right now?
APAC is integrating AI into operations very quickly. In many industries, there's a strong push to embed AI into the day-to-day running of the business. But the winners are the ones pairing that speed with disciplined foundations.
In LATAM, I see a lot of focus on alignment first. Getting governance, shared definitions, and clarity on who owns which decisions. It can feel slower, but it prevents a lot of downstream problems and helps scaling later.
Europe puts heavy emphasis on ethics and regulatory compliance, and not just because of formal regulation. There's a cultural expectation that organizations should be able to justify automated or AI-supported decisions in a clear, human-readable way.
North America is pushing innovation, with lots of experimentation and tons of tooling. The opportunity there is huge, but it also creates inconsistency. If every team rolls out its own approach, the organization gets a pile of smart projects that don't add up to a smart company.
And across parts of Africa, you see leapfrogging. Some organizations aren't burdened by old legacy systems to the same extent, so they can adopt mobile-first intelligence and build more modern decision flows faster if they invest in skills and governance at the same time.
So the destination is similar, but the route varies based on maturity, regulation, legacy, and culture. Let's end with that leader who's listening right now thinking, okay, I'm convinced. Where do I begin? What's the first 30 to 90 days look like?
Start with a decision audit. Pick a handful of high-impact decisions, maybe pricing changes, inventory planning, and credit risk, and document how they're made today. What data is used, who weighs in where delays happen, and where judgment overrides the numbers. You can't improve what you haven't mapped.
At the same time, build a KPI dictionary. It sounds basic, but it's transformative. Agree on definitions and ownership. If active customer means 5 different things, your decisions will always be contested.
And establish ethical guidelines early, not at the end. Define what acceptable looks like. Decide how you'll test fairness, how you'll log decisions, and how you'll explain model influence. It's much easier to design this and then to retrofit it later.
Choose AI use cases that connect directly to real decisions, not just interesting predictions. If the business can't answer, what action will we take differently because of this, then it's not decision intelligence yet.
And integrate intelligence into actual workflows. Don't trap it in dashboards that people check once a month. Put it where decisions happen in ticketing systems, in procurement tools, in CRM, in planning meetings. If it doesn't show up in the moment of choice, it won't change outcomes.
Let's tie this together. Decision intelligence is the next evolution beyond BI maturity and AI readiness. It's trusted data, plus aligned definitions. It's mapped decision workflows. It's ethics and accountability. It's AI that supports real decisions. And it's humans and machines collaborating inside everyday work. If organizations can build that system, they don't just get better reporting, they get better leadership. And in the next decade, that difference is going to separate the companies that compete globally from the ones that keep guessing. Thanks again to our global panel, Nakel Ethan Nikima, Dr. Lien Zhou, Maria Alvarez, Jonas Richter, and Aidan Vox. Your insights show that decision intelligence is not a trend, it's the future of leadership. And thanks to you for listening to the BI channel. Join us next time on the BI channel, where data meets decisions. We'll see you next time.